Good afternoon, everyone. All right. So today was an interesting day. As you guys know, we have a huge FOMC day coming up on Wednesday. We're expecting the first big rate cut in years, and it's thrown the market kind of in disarray. Over the last couple of weeks, um, we had some pretty terrible price action during open. Most of the days I've been slight green or red. I had one decent green day last Friday, then only a couple the week before. This week started off better in the open. Futures trading sucked because it just sat there and chopped for the entire 2 hours I was in, except right when I got out. Then I got the move I was looking for. So that's unfortunate. But it's a little difficult at when you're trading the open and you're at all-time highs. Now, usually trading the open isn't very difficult because you have context, and that's from overnight price action. But today we didn't have that. We're at all-time highs. I was leaning mildly bullish. We kind of had a rising wedge here on NQ. Didn't expect that to play out though. And really, what I'm just looking for is I'm just looking for bullish consolidation to enter. I only took 2 trades live today, and they were both pretty green. And really, what I'm looking for is I'm looking for a drop and then an invalidation of that drop or some kind of huge strength divergence that I can use to leverage an entry. And that's what I ended up getting today. The first candle was pretty close, but the second candle was much larger, right? The second candle is huge on NQ. So NQ is a lot stronger than ES. And unfortunately, TradingView has a stupid update. Whenever I'm in replay mode and I click a chart, it brings up this stupid little order thing. As you can see here, NQ is a lot stronger than ES. So right off the bat, it's either SPX puts or Q puts, or I mean Q calls. SPX puts or Q calls. And then we pull back. Now, NQ pulled back kind of hard, so I don't know how much stronger NQ actually is. But if we invalidate the pullback, we'll start making some progress. And that's what we start doing. Here we start bouncing on NQ. I'm looking for it to get really close to the high. And if it does, maybe I can justify an entry if it's way stronger than ES. But if it's somewhat close, ideally I always want 2 oscillations when I enter a bullish consolidation trade for a continuation. This is pretty good. Now we're very close. If it pulls back one more time, I can enter. Pull back and invalidate. There's the pullback. Now, I was hoping that it would come a little bit further down. Maybe something like this. But regardless now, if this red candle invalidates, I will be hopping into calls. And that's exactly what I did. Now, it didn't get very far down, so both the trades I took were only half size, which is okay. I didn't make as much money today because of it, but both trades were bright green trades with high percent returns. So it's fine by me. But this candle opened pretty bullish, and I filled my calls right here before it actually got to the selling wick. So it did pop up a little bit after I filled. So when I alerted the Q contracts at, I believe it was like 62 cents or 63 cents, something like that. They did pop up to like 60. No, it was at 60 cents. They popped up to like 63, but did end up coming back down. But here's the NQ strength. I really liked how this candle opened. It was a lot stronger than ES. And really, I'm just looking for ES high of day. Now, granted, I'm willing to average down if we dip and invalidate that dip or I sweep a lower low. But I'm just taking pretty much trend trades. ES going towards high a day, and there's high a day on ES. I sell it pretty much at the high of this candle. Not quite at the high, but pretty much at the high. I locked in 35% gains. It did end up continuing a little bit further, and I sold my runner here for the same, like 25 or 30%. So that was the first trade. Literally just a few candles, super easy, bullish consolidation trade. And let's see if I get it again. As you can see, look at the difference in strength between ES and NQ. Now, I would be eyeballing SPX puts, but I don't really have a major pivot on SPX. I mean, the most major pivot I have is right here, and that's not even a major pivot at all. So I don't have a good PT to trade puts to. So it's either SPX puts or QQQ calls. And right now I'm favoring Q calls because this is a very valid pivot up here at ES new high of day. I don't have a great pivot below. So I'd rather trade to a known point than to, into gray area. So again, it kind of looks like we're bullishly consolidating. Then we start falling. We're continuing to fall. ES has swept low of day. Again, you have an excuse to enter puts here because it's way weaker and so on and so forth, but it's just a low probability trade. It's maybe 50%. Then this candle happens. This is a beautiful candle. I don't. Let me check my channel. I think I. Let me see. When's the exact minute I entered? Yeah, it was on this candle. So I entered on this candle on NQ. Now I was hoping that NQ would stay strong, but pretty much the same thing. Still half size because I didn't get two oscillations with this trade. So this trade isn't a bullish consolidation trade. Really, it's a ES swept buy side liquidity. It's invalidating a majority of this drop. So liquidity momentum. So I'm bullish for ES high of day, which is this pivot here. And keep in mind, this pivot isn't a major pivot. So I got to take this liquidity sweep with a grain of salt, which is why I entered half size. But we have bullish liquidity sweep on ES. It invalidated a majority of the move. And NQ's been stronger than ES. I entered NQ. Now, this candle on NQ isn't as big as the candle on ES, but ES also dropped more. So I just kind of entered hoping that NQ would stay strong. And then it's really the same PT as last time. I was really just looking for ES high of day. Same thing. Once again, I didn't get to average down or anything. NQ flipped super weak on this candle, which was concerning, but then ended up flipping super strong. Well, I sold pretty much most of it except some runners, a bigger runner position than the last trade on this candle. At this candle was roughly at, let me see. I don't know, it was roughly at like 40% gains, right? So pretty good. The runners ended up getting all the way to 86%. And I sold those runners. This is a bull pennant here. I didn't want to re-enter because ES was signaling a top. But we did break to the upside, and I sold my runner at the shooting star, which is here. It's a reversal candle, and I got decent volume with the reversal candle. I sold my runners at the close of this candle, and it did very well. 86% gains on this trade. And obviously, I sold most of it right here. But that was really my morning. Two solid base hitters. I was willing to get into one more trade. If ES fell and then put in a head and shoulders, I can get in the shorts or puts to a new low of day or even the demand break. Really just at least the demand. So that's what I was looking for. I wasn't willing to take KQQ calls again. I did put out a TA alert that said if this red candle fully invalidates, it's a decent call trade because it is a bull flag. But typically, if you get, if you're in an uptrend and you get solid bullish consolidation, you should not start bullishly consolidating again 2 candles after you break out and then consolidate for another 20, right? That's a red flag. That means the trend is weakening and it keeps needing to consolidate to squeeze out the rest of the move. That didn't happen though. And that ended up concluding my trading. Was thinking it might have put in a head and shoulders here, but it didn't get nearly low enough. ES flipped super strong and ended up breaking to the upside. It ended up getting new high of day. So, and by this point, 7:30, I'm already done trading. And this is no longer bullish consolidation. I'm bullish for NQ new high of day, but this isn't any consolidation. This is not a flag. It's not high enough odds for me to take. And as you can see, it just kind of chopped for a long time. So you can assume how my futures went with this price action. But yeah, this morning with options, super basic, super easy. Both trades done in live. Pretty much everyone made money at market open, and then not so much for the other half of my trading. But type in chat, does anyone have any questions regarding the 2 trades I took this morning? Definitely a breath of fresh air, though, having another 100% win rate morning after last week's terrible price action. And honestly, I'm not really expecting price action to be great until after, or back to normal until after Wednesday. Now, I'm going to trade on Wednesday. I'm going to be trading light size, but even on Wednesday, I don't know if it's going to be good. I assume it's going to be pretty volatile. If you're trading options, the options are going to be very, very expensive, so keep that in mind because of the implied volatility. And yeah, I guess we'll just kind of see how it goes. But after Wednesday, I have high hopes that this series of crappy market opens is over, and it started pretty decent this week. As long as it's not chopping hard, I make money pretty much every morning, and this morning was no exception. What was a crazy candle at 7? I really don't know what the crazy candle is. Someone sent something in the terminal. There was some minor news. I forgot it. It was completely irrelevant in my opinion. I don't know why it caused that candle. I think it was just. I can pull it up right now. Actually, here I'll take a look. It was U.S. Treasury Secretary Bessent. The U.S. will not impose tariffs on Chinese goods for purchasing Russian oil unless European countries do the same. That's all I saw at 7:30, and that came from a member. It came from Swaggy. But I more so think it was Algos reading that instantaneously and freaking out real quick. Because keep in mind, the market's pretty much trained by algos, and algos read news within milliseconds of it releasing and determines price action. Um, it read the first half of that, which is imposing tariffs, which caused this huge drop, and that said, if other countries do it as well, and then it shot right back up, and it's like it never happened. So sometimes you'll see algo freakouts like that, and that's what I kind of wrote it off as, if that makes sense. If I'm not in your live stream, can I follow your alerts? How can I follow your alerts as fast as possible? Um, First off, Mighty, you need to be trading on the active trader. If you're trading on the options chain, you have no hope. So you need to be trading on an active trader. If you're trading on an active trader, it's plenty fat. My alerts are very easy to follow for anyone that knows how to trade options efficiently. Um, I'm the most predictable analyst there is to follow, in my opinion. I only trade SPX and QQQ. I always enter SPX between $2.50 and $3, and QQQ between like 50 cents and 75 cents. And I'm only trading those two tickers for an hour a day, and I trade the same every day. So you already know what contracts I'm getting in before I even announce it if I say I'm in calls, you know. But most people don't know how to like critically think because they're stuck in like sheep mode of just consuming other people's alerts and having no free thought. So don't be like that because your trading career won't go anywhere, I promise. But if you're looking to follow alerts as efficiently as possible and still learn while you're doing it, which is that's the whole goal of that's the reason I send so much TA in my channel. You need to be on an active trader. Should already have SPX and QQQ set up on the active trader. I have SPX puts calls, QQQ puts calls, the right date and the right strike price at any given time, and I'm one click away from entering at any point. You all should be the same if you're trading options. What's an active trader? I'm on Robinhood. Rest in peace. I can't help you. I cannot help you if you're on Robinhood, buddy. I do have this recording though, so get Thinkorswim. Get Thinkorswim or Webull or some actual real life broker that's not for kids just trying to get into the stock market and buy a Lamborghini before they're 21. No offense, but you're not going to go anywhere with Robinhood, I promise. Here is overview of my options trading setup. All right, here's a link. I'm going to send you a link in chat right now. And by the way, anyone watching this recording, I have sent this link in my alert channel before. Just go in the search bar of your Discord, whatever server you're in, if you're watching from a different server, and look up from Bryce and then option setup. And it'll pull up what I sent. And it's a YouTube link. And it's my direct option setup that I use to trade on Thinkorswim. If you use Thinkorswim and you have that set up, you are plenty fast enough to take my trades, because my trades really aren't that, guys. I trade the same contracts, the same expiration, the same price, the same tickers every single day at the same time. It's really, really, really not that hard to follow. But the goal is, with the TA that I send, is you're no longer following alerts. You're just taking alerts that you agree with me on, right? You learn how to trade yourself, and you get good at reading charts, and you form your own biases and sentiments. And when your sentiment lines up with mine, take the trade. You'll have a pretty high win rate. Time chat, does that make sense, Mighty? But yeah, Robinhood's not going to work, dude. Yeah, not to be rude or anything, dude, but I get off Robinhood. I know they released some active trader broker thing that I don't know if anyone actually uses. Look into Thinkorswim. It's, in my opinion, the best options broker there is. or I've been using it for years. I've also had some experience with Webull for a couple of years of my life, but that was a long time ago, so I'm not familiar with it. But Thinkorswim will get the job done. If you play around with Thinkorswim, deposit $500 in your Thinkorswim account. Okay, listen closely. Review my options, that video. Okay, I literally teach you how to create the setup for yourself. It's pretty easy once you do it. Then once you get a Thinkorswim account, deposit $500. Do not trade the $500 though. You're not allowed. Don't trade it. Once you deposit $500, because Thinkorswim has paper trading for options and it's really good. But the paper trading is delayed data, which is absolutely useless because the options are just broken if that happens. There's delayed data, so you can't paper trade. However, if you have $500 in your Thinkorswim account, you can go on the paper trading. You can open the little support tab and the little support tab in the top right of your Thinkorswim terminal. Open that support tab and request real-time paper trading. As long as you have $500 in your TD Ameritrade account, as long as you have over $500, you'll be able to paper trade real-time data. So you can live practice getting in and out of options and get comfortable with what you're doing before you start doing it. Because especially with options trading and alert following, it doesn't matter if I'm the best analyst in the world. No one's going to make money because there's just too many mistakes to make, especially if you're new to options. But if you get comfortable with what it is to exit and enter options trades and change the strikes of your options by typing it in to the active trader rather than going to the options chain and going that route, you'll become very efficient. You'll become a lot more comfortable, and my channel will be a lot more beneficial to you. Because right now, if any of you guys, it's way more people than just you, Mighty, so I appreciate you asking this question. Plenty of you guys are probably trading Robinhood, or you're just trading by the options chain. My channel's not helpful to you. It's helpful with the TA, but if you're using an options chain to follow my channel, to where every time I type in an alert, you have to look up a ticker, you got to pull up the options chain, you got to find the contract, you got to put a limit order in the right price, you got to fill, and then you got to see what that's way too much. You're better off just following the TA of my channel because that's great too. But if you want to trade the direct contracts, have an active trader set up, and yeah. Also, I'll send one more link, Mighty, and for everyone else watching, this is also in my options channel. Look up Solid in your guys' servers. Look up from Bryce, my bot, and then look up Solid tutorial. And it'll be a YouTube link giving me a full breakdown tutorial of how to follow my alerts. That's the wrong YouTube link. Give me 1 second. Full tutorial. I think it's like 40 minutes long of how to follow my alerts if you're actually going to take them and everything. So you're fully prepared, if you're going to use my analytic services, you'll know what you're doing, what I'm doing, and it'll be a lot smoother. Alerts are for premium. Yep. I mean, you have it, Eski. Yep. All right. Any more questions whatsoever? Thank you, Mighty, for making this this recording more beneficial because only 2 trades today, pretty lame. But yeah, if you need anything, Mighty, just ping me in free trading floor. It may seem like this server is not super active during the day, but that's not true. It's just because I'm in voice. I'm in voice from 5:30 in the morning my time to 9:30 my time. 4 hours straight I'm in voice, and then I'm back here to review my options, and then I'm back here to review futures, and then I'm back here later in the evening to study, backtest all those things. So people don't do a ton of talking in chat, especially free chat, because we're in voice all day. So how much am I missing out? Mighty, I'm not here to promote my server. If you're curious, ask any member of your choice and they can give you an honest review. I'm not very big on promoting my server, especially when I'm uploading this to YouTube. You know what I mean? But yeah, ask anyone in chat and they'll just choose DM someone in private, do your own thing. However, I need you, Mighty, to read this channel because this is a very, very, very big deal. The path to success. Read that channel. I'd say before you even watch those videos to understand what we're doing here. Yeah, you're correct, Eski. Right, sweet guys. Well, this has been a pleasure. I'll be back in an hour to review futures, and then honestly, um, I'm probably gonna spend a lot of time in voice this evening. I'm thinking I'm gonna be in voice for probably 2 hours, 3 hours, because I want to do some back testing with you guys, and I want to review my futures trading. Because is it just this week that's been bad, and last week that's been bad, or is my data skewed somehow? So we're gonna do some analysis and try to figure that out. So, all right, sweet. Well, I'll see you guys later. Thanks for attending. I'll let you guys know when this recording is being posted. And yeah, like I said, I'll see you guys soon for the futures review.